to my channel. Welcome if you are new here. Welcome to the fam. Welcome to the community. My name is Kelso and I'm a 24, almost 25-year-old budgeter here on YouTube. My system is highly influenced by the zero-based budget as well as the Dave Ramsey method and the cash envelope systems. I kind of blend them all together and use what works best for me and my family. Now, I am also a new YouTuber here on the platform, so if you've been liking the type of content that you're seeing lately, please go ahead and like this video down below and leave some comments down below as well so that I can get to know you guys. And if you have any questions, I'd love to do a Q&A of some sorts eventually as well. I am on my journey to be 100% debt-free. I do have about $24,000 to $25,000 in debt right now. That is combined with my fiance for a couple credit cards that we have together, that we've used together over the course of the last 5 years that we've been together. But our journey is definitely to become debt-free as soon as possible. We are looking to buy a home in the next couple of years, as well as start a family in the next couple of years and really start settling down. So we have some pretty big savings goals, debt goals, and overall financial and life goals, if you would call it that. Just some pretty big goals in general for the next couple of years for both of us as we start, settling down and really getting into creating our family. Now, this channel is everything budgeting, cash envelope stuffing, personal savings goals, personal finances in general. So if you like that type of content, please go ahead and subscribe to this channel. I will be posting at least once every week, and bonus videos in between the week whenever, I have time for it. I do work a full-time job. I am working from home, so I get a little bit more time to record these videos and edit, throughout the day at home, but I am still working a full-time job, so I can at least commit to that one video every week, every Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and bonus videos on occasional Sundays and weekdays whenever I have some bonus content for you guys. Now, today's video is pretty much my debt confession. I have recorded a debt update video for January, but I feel like I went too in depth about some of the things that I want to keep a little bit more private just for my own reasons. But I do still want to give that type of content because I love, as a consumer, or as a viewer, I love watching, debt updates and people's debt confessions and their debt action plans, because it's very motivating and it also gives you tips and tricks that you can try for yourself. I am by no means a financial advisor, as you will see with the mistakes that I have made in my past, and the mistakes that I may still make on a day-to-day basis, but I am truly intentional on crushing out this debt to become 100% debt-free and creating healthy money habits for myself and my family from here on out. I want to break this curse of not having, an understanding of financial literacy, and I want to genuinely pass along to my children, to my family, and to anyone else that's listening to my videos as much wisdom as I have come across, and as much motivation as I have also come across here on this platform and in the budgeting community in general. It can be a little tricky because sometimes it's a little judgy. People will put their assumptions on you, and people will critique the way in which you decide to manage your family's finances, but everybody's situation is a little bit different. So everybody's situation is gonna be exactly that. It's gonna be different. And everybody's solution is not gonna be the same. So I'm sharing this strictly for motivation and for you guys to see what I'm going through and what my personal action plan is. But by no means is this a one-size-fits-all solution, nor did I go to school for finances. So this is just what I've taken in and what I've learned and what my action plan is to get myself in a better financial place. So to jump right into it, because I know that was kind of a chatty intro there, I just wanted to leave the disclaimer that I am not a financial advisor, and also I am going to be sharing my journey, but what's comfortable for me and what's not comfortable for me is disclosing all of my personal information and why I've made certain decisions along the way and why I am in certain amounts of debt. I will disclose what I feel comfortable with, and we'll go with that. And I hope you guys like this type of content and that it's helpful for some, and it also eases the stress for others like it does for me, to see that everyone is dealing with their own form of financial struggles or financial journeys. So for the month of February, I wanted to go ahead and break it down as to what things I owe on my credit. So what I did is I pulled my annual credit report from all three bureaus, and I went through and seen all of the accounts that I am in debt on, and I jotted that down and jotted down the minimum payments, what type of creditor it is and who it's from, as well as what the starting balance for the month of February was. And each month I'm going to go ahead and at the end of the month give you guys an update and tell you what the ending balance was after I was able to make any successful extra debt payments and my minimum payments throughout the month. Now, to go through it, to tell you what my debts are, I have a few. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah, so I have 13 debts right now. Again, 2 of them are credit cards that are shared with my fiance, but for the most part, they're all mine. When I was at college, I was like, I have such bad credit already. It doesn't matter. It's ruined for me. I'm never going to be able to get it back together anyways, so might as well ball out. That was the worst mistake that I could have ever made, because at that time, I barely had any debt, really. But you live and you learn, and we are here today. And as of the last 2 years, I've been trying to get it under control and pay off quite a few of collections that I have, and catch up on everything else. So, for instance, the collections that I have right now on my credit report are Banfield, which was a monthly subscription, or I guess you could say a month. It was like pet insurance. And the pet insurance I had was just for my first cat that I had gotten on my own when I was living in my college apartment. And I didn't realize that it was a contract if I chose not to have that plan anymore, and I broke that contract apparently. And you know, I have a $67 collection from them that I've had for God knows how long. I believe like 5 or 6 years, and I didn't even know it was there. So that's wonderful. Then I also have a collection from a previous, my college apartment actually. There were a lot of issues wrong with this apartment, and in the end, they tried to charge me $400 for leaving, like damage fees, which is so unfair because the damages that were there were, number one, not equal to $400, and a lot of them were damages just because the apartment was not well taken care of, and anytime I put in maintenance requests, they didn't actually come and take care of it. But I do have that collection, and instead of fighting it because I've tried and it's been like such an issue, I'm just gonna go ahead and pay it, because if I'm trying to buy a house, which we are gonna buy a house in the next couple years, I need to just get rid of it. It's not good to have definitely also a housing collection on my credit when I'm trying to buy a house. So I'm just gonna pay it. I also have Express here, which is a collection. It's another collection that happened in my college days. I actually bought this credit card to buy clothes for my job, because the job that I had at the time in the mall, I needed to wear a specific type of clothes, and I didn't have it, so I went got an Express credit card and maxed it out and never paid it back. National Recovery Agency, I'm pretty sure that this is a collection, a medical collection. I'm not actually that 100% sure, which is why it's not on my main focus right now, because I need to figure out where it's coming from first, and if I can dispute it, and if not, then I'll pay it off, but I'm still going to keep it on my tracker each month. Wells Fargo is, again, another college mistake. It was a college credit card that I got right when I turned 18. No, I was 18 because I got it my sophomore year in college. Excuse me, y'all. I just needed a quick little drink there. But, yeah, that was just another mistake. I was 18, actually, when I got this card because I got it in my sophomore year of college. But, again, a credit card that I never paid off, and I just let go to collections because I didn't understand anything about credit and how it worked. And I thought that it was so far gone already that I might as well just let it go. And it would fall off eventually. Yeah, in 7 years, but it's going to ruin your credit for 7 years, plus some possibly. So yeah, this one's possibly going to fall off soon. I'm not quite sure because it is almost 7 years old now. So again, it's not the highest of priorities, but I'll tell you exactly what my debt action plan is in just a second here. Another collection that I have is Sprint. Again, just when I was younger, I'm not really going to go much in detail about that one. It just was when I was younger. And yeah. U.S. Department of Education, I'm not quite sure if it is a collection or not. It's showing as a collection on some of my credit reports and then not on others. I honestly thought that it was. These are my student loans. I had let them go into default and didn't pay for them because I couldn't afford it in the beginning. And then when I was able to afford it, again, I just made that stupid decision to think that, or the naive decision to think that it didn't matter. But I'm not quite sure if it's current or not because some things are showing that it's current and then I could have sworn that it was in default, but I'm not quite sure. So I need to do some more research on this one as well before I just pay it. Now, to go through everything else, current banking is my personal banking account that I had with Current. They had a program where you could go and with a qualifying direct deposit, they gave you like an overdraft protection. I used that overdraft protection and it was $49, I believe, like a year ago, and I never paid it off. So I just want to pay it off and then I think close this account because I don't really use it. Credit One is my personal credit card that I have. Merrick is also a personal credit card, and Open Sky is a personal credit card of mine. Freedom and Discover are both credit cards that me and my fiance have shared throughout the course of our relationship. Discover is our oldest, and then Freedom is the newest one, but both do have quite high balances because of a lot of issues with job loss and other house issues over the last 2 years, but these are our main focuses to try to get paid down. I'm technically not an account owner on either one of these. My fiance is because she has significantly a lot better credit than I do. These two are actually her only debts that she has other than student loans that are current. So she has no other debt. And her student loans, I believe, is like $5,000. So I'm the one coming with all the debt in the relationship, but these two credit cards are in her name and I am an authorized user on both of them, and we use them as shared credit cards. Now to go through, what the balances are on all of these, I'm not quite sure why I didn't go through them as I was going through, what they were, but that's okay. I'll go through it now for you. So I'm gonna go ahead and go through for each different debt what the minimum payment and starting balance was for February. That way we can start off on what the what the debt is, and then go from there on what my action plan is and the methods that I'll use to crush out this debt this year. So the first one that I have is Banfield, which is a collection, so it doesn't have a minimum payment. Oops, it's a little low. So it doesn't have a minimum payment, and the starting balance for, or I guess the balance of the debt was $67. Which sounds insane because it's so low. Why did I leave it on my credit for almost 6 or 7 years? And it's really because I didn't even know it was there to begin with. Now, I also have my current banking, which again is just an overdraft on a credit or a debit card that I never use, that I just want to pay off and get rid of and close. That debt is $49. Credit 1 was starting off at $306 for the month. That's the balance is $306, and the monthly payment is $30. Now, Southern Management, which is again that collection for my previous college apartment that I was trying to dispute, and it never really worked out for me, and I'm just gonna go ahead and pay because it, looks terrible on my credit. That balance is $356, and again, because it's a collection, it doesn't have a minimum payment. Now, my second personal credit card, Merrick, has a balance, or had a balance, of $370 starting off the month of February, and the minimum payment is $35. Open Sky, which is my last personal credit card, has a monthly payment of $50, and the balance started off as $464. Now, Express again is a collection, so it doesn't have a minimum payment, and the balance for that card is $712. National Recovery Agency, again, I really have no flippin' idea what this credit is, but I believe it's medical, so I need to do more research before I pay anything on it. But it's a collection, so it doesn't have a minimum payment, and the balance on it is $975. Or actually, I'm incorrect, it's $925. Wells Fargo is another collection account, and it doesn't have a minimum payment. The collection amount is $971. Sprint doesn't have a minimum payment again, and the balance on that debt is $1,903. Now, Freedom is our shared credit card, or one of our shared credit cards, and as of right now, that monthly payment is $59 each month. And in the beginning of February, our balance was $5,900. Next is my U.S. Department of Education, which again is just my student loans, which I believe should be in default, but it's showing as current on some of my accounts or some of my credit reports, so I need to do more research on this debt as well. But I do know that I owe it. There's no monthly payment that I'm aware of, because again, I thought it was in default, but I do need to call to get that taken care of. And the monthly, or the full amount of the balance, is $6,140. And then lastly, we have our shared credit card, which is Discover. And Discover started off with a monthly, or a balance of $6,409 in the month of February. And the monthly payment, or the minimum payment this month, was $146. This one kind of varies a little bit month to month, because the interest rate on the Discover credit card is quite high right now, and we've had the balance quite high for a while, which is why we need to get it paid off as soon as possible out of the two. but the minimum payment kind of varies. So each month you'll see that. In total, what we have for our debt, I believe again is about almost $25,000 in debt, but let's count it up. We have 67. Okay, so I realized I made an when it comes to the balances on the credit cards. I was looking for some of them on the wrong thing. So for Merrick, credit one, it did start off as $306. Merrick as well did show up as $370 for the beginning of February. Open Sky is $464. The Freedom card actually started off as $6,000. Oops. Okay, and the Discover card was actually $6,555. So I made a little boo-boo there. That's why my numbers were not matching what I had done, because I always budget it out on paper before I record it just to make sure that my numbers are correct. So let's try this one more time. Okay, and that is the correct number that I was expecting. So, and the total debt that I have right now, and again, this is including our 2 shared credit cards, myself and my fiance. So really this is most of our debt as a couple. Again, she really doesn't have that much debt. Personally, the only other debt that she has that's not these 2 credit cards is her student loans that are current and up to date, and she really only owes, I believe, about like $4,000 for that. So this is the majority of our debt, and that would be $24,008. Now, I'm not adding her student loans in here because all of our finances are not completely together. Most of it is all of mine, and I'm focusing on getting my credit together mostly because I clearly have a lot to work on, and still focusing on our shared credit cards as well, because that affects both of us. Now, looking at $24,000 of debt sounds insane. At least to me, it sounds like, how the heck am I going to get this paid off? It sounds like it's never going to happen, aka why college me, 18-year-old, 19-year-old me said to heck with it, and you know what, I'll just have bad credit my entire life because there's no purpose in even trying. But that's a terrible mindset to have, because number one, it's not correct, and number two, as long as you're making progress towards your goal, eventually you will get there. And the number one way to not reach your goal is to never even start, and to not set up an action plan. I believe that quote is, plan to fail, or you'll fail to or fail to plan, or plan to fail. And I genuinely, or it's something like that, I don't know what the exact quote is, but I'll put it here on the screen if I can find it anywhere, but I know I will be able to. But it's a known quote, especially in the planning community, and that is so true. If you don't set up an action plan in place, you're going to fail. You're setting yourself up for failure. So at the beginning of the year, I set up an action plan for our family, what our goals were, what our necessities were for the year as far as expenses, and really look at what we can do as far as getting ourselves financially in the place that we need to be starting a family and buying a house in the next couple of years, in the next year or two. So the method that we follow for our debt payment, or that I follow for my debt payment, is going to be a variation of the debt snowball method. starting from the smallest debt first and then making our way up to the largest one is gonna get me in the headspace of, oh God, I can do this. Like I can actually do this. Seeing one thing crossed off and be like, oh dang, I did that. Oh dang, I did the second one. Oh dang, I've crushed out 3. It's gonna motivate you to continue on this path. So I'm doing that sort of variation, mostly following it for my personal debts. But when it comes to our 2 shared credit cards, as it does affect both of us, and we are both on our journeys of increasing our credit scores and getting ourselves together, these 2 will get paid also a little extra debt payments whenever they can from both my fiance and myself, because they do affect, again, both of us, and both of us have spent quite a few on these cards that need to be knocked out, because the interest, especially on the Discover card, is insane right now. But we're following the debt snowball method mostly, just so that we can see the progress as we go. Every month, I like to set up a goal of 3 things that I'd like to pay off, or at least that's what I set for February, because in other months, I may be working on a little bit bigger of a debt payment and I can't necessarily do 3. But since I have some smaller ones here, for February, my goal was to pay off 3 debts. Now, if I didn't do all 3, that's okay, but the idea was to set it up so that I had a goal in mind. Now, I was able to pay off with what I had let roll over from my debt payments in January and what I had put towards in February. I was able to go ahead and pay off the Banfield debt. So now that balance is at $0 and it actually has been removed from my credit report, which is wonderful. I absolutely love that. It makes me feel amazing that I can say that that stupid thing that I should never have let be on there to begin with is now paid off. My second one that I was focusing on was current banking, because it's such a low number. It's only $49 and it's just an overdraft fee. I wanted to go ahead and pay that off. I didn't successfully get this one done this month, but that's okay. In the month of March, that's going to be my first one that gets crushed out. But the balance starting in ending February was still the $49. Now for Credit One, this is my most used personal credit card, and I want to start to use it so that I can, for my online purchases, for my weekly spending. I'm still going to keep myself within the budget that I allot each paycheck, but if I don't want to pay in cash and I want to pay on my credit card, I want to be able to have that there in case I need to. So that's why I wanted to pay this one off next, because again, it's the one that I use on a daily basis if I need to use a card and I don't necessarily have the money on my debit card because I pull out everything in cash. So the balance for this one again was $306. What you guys haven't heard yet or seen yet is that I actually have received my tax refund, and I was able to go ahead and put towards pay off that Credit One credit card, which is absolutely amazing. I'm so ecstatic for that, and I was able to pay that off, so it is now at a $0 balance. So that one is as well paid off. So I got 2 out of my 3 highlight things paid off this month, which is amazing. And one of them being on collections, which is awesome. The next that I have is a collection that I did not pay off. So Southern Management is still going to be at $356. Merrick, I just paid the minimum payment, and I do believe that I ran a little short on income or on cash one week, and I believe I bought groceries on this card. So it did go up this month. Even though I made the minimum payment, the ending balance was $400, which is okay. This is one of my next targets to pay off as well. And that's going to be one of my focuses coming up soon, and then I will not use that card. Open Sky as well, I believe it was that same paycheck that was a little bit short. that I used this credit card for gas or something. And even though I made the minimum payment of $50, the ending balance for February is $500. Now, Express, National Recovery, Wells Fargo, and Sprint, as they're all collections, they don't have a minimum payment, and I didn't pay any extra debt payments towards those, so all of their balances are the same. So Express is still $712. The National Recovery Agency is still $925. Wells Fargo is still $971. Sprint is still $1,093. And I might as well go ahead and do my student loans as well, because those are still the same at $6,140. Now for Freedom, we were able to go ahead and put an extra payment. My fiance did. So the balance for this is now $5,900. And Discover, I'm actually making a payment today for us, and so that now that minimum payment is going to, or that starting balance or ending balance, excuse me, the ending balance is $6,409. So to count up what we have in total debt still, starting in the month of March, we have so ending the month of February, our total debt is $23,455, and the total change would be 24,008 minus 23,455. We paid off a total of $500, excuse me. So I paid off a total of $553 this month in debt payments, in extra debt payments, or in debt payments in general, which is amazing because our total monthly payments do not equal $553. We actually kind of doubled it a little bit, which is wonderful, and we paid off 2 collections, which again is great. But that is everything for this debt confession. Again, I have a total of $23,000 that I have in debt. It's quite a lot for myself. I know for others it might be not that much, but for myself it is half of my yearly income, which is crazy. And I have no idea where that money went, but I know that I have an action plan set in place to get myself and my family and my fiance on track so that we can buy a home in the near future. And like I said, we just got to get these collections handled, get these credit cards paid down, and we definitely can do this. If you guys like this type of content, or if you enjoyed this video, please go ahead and leave me a comment down below and tell me what you liked about the video, or tell me about how your debt journey is going. Also like this video and turn on your post notification. That way you're notified every single time I have a video live. If you like this type of content and you like seeing budget with me, as you like seeing debt updates, you want to follow along with my debt-free journey, or just overall you enjoy following along with my story, please go ahead and also subscribe. I would love to have everybody as a part of the family so that we can all motivate each other to crush out this debt and get all of the things that we've dreamt for in life, because we all deserve it and we all can do it. So I thank you guys so much for keeping up with me if you've been watching my videos, and I thank you so much for subscribing. I do see you new subscribers here, and I thank you guys again so much, and I'm having so much fun. So I look forward to seeing and hearing from you guys, and I look forward to chatting with you guys next. Until next time, guys, peace out.